Okay guys, here is my quick little grocery haul before we get into what we're having for dinner today. Now some of this might be really gross for some of y'all, but I like this stuff. I got a bag of the seafood combo. You have some crab and shrimp and fish and squid and octopus tentacles in here, and I love it. Just to either stew in a spicy sauce or just steam with some lemon juice. Control yourselves. Please don't fall out on me. These are chicken hearts, y'all. I love these things. Full of fat, but full of protein and so delicious. I might make a recipe with these for y'all if y'all are interested. Same thing, I either stick them on a skewer and put them on the grill, or I pan saute them with a little salt and pepper. Sometimes I'll do a sauce, but they're good, really just pan seared. So yummy. I found some garbanzo beans, some fresh garbanzos. I always get so excited when I find fresh garbanzos because I love them. They stink up your house, but I love fresh garbanzos. I went ahead and got the frozen empanada little dough discs because I have been wanting to make brie and fig empanadas. And I could make like the little homemade crust, but I really don't feel like messing with like Crisco and stuff like that. So this is the next best thing, your little frozen discs. And I'll definitely be doing that on video with you guys. I was so geeked out because I found some rambutans. There weren't many left in there that were ready to eat. But you guys, if y'all haven't had these, they are so delicious. I'll pop open one with you guys when I eat one so you all can see one and experience what they're like. The best way I can describe it is the flesh is like a peeled grape. Really yummy. So I got a few of those. I already ate one. I got some little itty bitty avocados. They're only 25 cents each because they're super teeny tiny. I got some frozen corn. I got a pineapple. Yep. Would you like to say hello?
Yeah.
What's wrong? You tired?
Nah.
You want to show those? Or what? You didn't like them?
Nah. They don't have this. They're not the same flavor as the other ones.
Yeah, and I kind of worried about that because these are made from the store. I picked some chichurritos. These are duros. And I've been craving these, but I wanted to make them preparados, which is just loaded. You basically load them with, oh my gosh, cucumber and avocado and cabbage, and you just load them. It's like a wheat snack nacho. It's yummy. You're in my kitchen, kitty. And this is what we are making for dinner because I have been craving a hunk of beef. Okay guys, today I am craving a pan-seared ribeye. So I've been letting this sit out for about 20 minutes to get room temperature. I'm going to keep it real simple. I don't do nothing fancy to my meat. I pan-sear it, season it with a little salt at the end. I drop in a little butter, or in this case margarine because your girl ran out of butter. Season the butter with a little adobo, spoon it over, and it's a done deal. I like my meat to taste like meat. I'm going to go ahead and fry up some little rounds of potato. I already got the oil back there heating up for those. I was going to do a baked potato, but I'm not a real fan of baked potatoes and everything that goes in it. So I just wanted a little crunch with the steak. And to accompany that are some mushrooms. I bought the little basket of mushrooms. These were whole. And I washed them, sliced them, washed them again. And I cooked those with a little clove of garlic and some onion, and I let it cook down just a bit, and then I add some Worcestershire, and that's that. So let's get to cooking. So the first thing I'm going to start are my mushrooms, and I just give it a little pat of margarine. I like butter, but like I said, I don't use it often, so I never have it when I really need it. So I'm just going to melt that margarine down, and once that's nice and melted, I toss in the onion and garlic. So once I have them sweating in there a little bit and you hear a sizzle, you hear the sizzle, I go ahead and add my mushrooms because these are going to cook down a little bit, so I don't have to worry about my onions being completely soft. Now, here go my mushrooms, and they were double washed because you don't want a fungus among us. You don't know what's inside the little mushroom. So I wash it once on the outside, then I cut them and wash them again, because what if some critter crawled in there trying to save itself from, you know, the cooking of it all. So I do that, and then the only other seasoning I add is pepper, a lot of pepper because I love pepper. And then I'm going to let that sweat a little. The mushrooms are going to drop some of their liquid, which is going to help cook and soften them. And then the last thing I do is add my Worcestershire. And you don't got to be fancy and buy the Lee & Perrins. It costs $5 a bottle. Get your Walmart brand. It all tastes the same. So get in there and give them a nice little toss. Get your garlic and onions all mixed up in there with them. Put your lid on and leave them be.
Yep.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is get my taters started, and I'm just going to fry these little circles. It's the way my mama used to do it back in the day whenever she'd make steak, and I was so dumb. When I was young, don't give me a steak. I thought it was the most disgusting thing ever, and now I'm kicking myself in the butt because it's rare that I want a nice hunk of meat, but when I do, I cook it now like my mama used to, and I used to like push it away. I wanted peanut butter and jelly or something. Anywho, the reason I'm starting my mushrooms and potatoes early is because they take the longest to cook, and I only do my steak for like, I do a medium rare. No, I like rare. I don't like meat. Well, depends. A ribeye I like medium. So all I do is I take my little taters and I dunk them in, and I'm just going to fry them like a fat potato chip. And my mommy used to make these for us, and then she would melt cheese on top of them, or she would load them with sour cream and little onions, and it was delicious. When mommy didn't have money to buy potato chips for us, she would make us some. She'd cut them real thinner. She'd cut them a little thinner though, but like I said, with steak, she would do them like this. Now all I'm going to do after these are cooked is sprinkle a little adobo or seasoned salt. I don't know which I'm going to use. I may stick with adobo, and this is what I'm going to season the butter and the steak with, but I just let those go. Here I'm flipping over my first little batch of taters. They're fighting me, y'all. They're fighting me. They're hissing. They're hissing. Can y'all hear that? Anywho, so flip these over. These will be done once they're brown on one side. Then I'll add the last little batch and do my steak. Let's check on these mushrooms. Ooh, I love mushrooms, guys. So they've sweated down quite a bit. Oops, sorry about the steam. Now, if you want to make a nice gravy, once you take the little mushrooms out, you can make a roux with it. It is so stinking good. I've done this with pork chops, but this is just going to be a side, and I do not mind a little drizzle of this over the steak when it's done. So all I'm going to do at this point is put in some Worcestershire. Is that how you say it? That's how it's spelled. Worcestershire. Let's put in a few drops and see if I can do this one-handed. This is just for a little salt, a little yum-yum. That's it. That's it. So I'm going to let those finish off in the pan and drop in the last of my taters, and then we'll do the steak. Okay, I got the last batch of the potatoes on, so I'm going to prep my steak. I have the skillet on to medium. It's a dry skillet. I don't have any oil or nothing in there because I want a good sear on it. Cast iron is best, but you guys, I had cast iron back in the day. I didn't know how to take care of it. I ruined it. Some people say you can't ruin cast iron. Yes, you can. Like some people say you can't kill a cactus. I can kill a cactus. I ruined cast iron. It rusted, and I don't know how it rusted. I never let it drip dry. I always dried it with, you know, a dishcloth, and I ruined it. But anywho, I do a dry skillet. It's been a while since I've made a steak, but I think I remember how. So all I'm gonna do with this steak is put a little salt on top of it. That's all I'm gonna do. And I do it a few minutes before I cook just to draw out some of that moisture in it. Y'all, I told y'all I don't like that word, right? That moist word. But if I add chur to the end of it, we're good. But I just do a little salt because it's gonna sit here until my taters are done. You don't ever want to leave your meat out longer than half an hour. At least I don't, because I always think bacteria are gonna grow on it. But I'm gonna leave the salt sitting on there, and then we're gonna pan sear it. So it's time to get this steak on here, and I've had the skillet setting on medium high heat. That's how I know it's ready. When a few little drops from my hand get that on there. Now all we're gonna do is pan sear. Now I do 4 to 5 minutes per side. I don't touch it. Once I drop it in there, I do not touch it, guys. I let it go. That way it gets a nice little crust on the end. On the edge, you know, on each side, and it holds all the juices in, and it's yum. So I'm gonna let this sit for 4, maybe 5 minutes on each side, and I'll be back to show you the lovely glow I get when I flip it. Okay, the last of my taters is coming out. I'm gonna sprinkle them with a little adobo, not a lot, because you're still going to fix them up a little. You're still going to add a few little things on them. So a little bit of adobo. Now, we're going to get on over here to this steak. Can you see how the bottom? You see how the bottom is nice and brown? We got about 30 more seconds before I flip this bad boy over. See what kind of coloring we got. It smells like an old-time hamburger diner in here. If y'all had one of those little burger diners in y'all's neighborhood or favorite little burger hut, that's what it smells like in here with the toast of the meat and the fries. So let's flip this bad boy over. It's fighting me. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to do 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm going to dump in the margarine and my adobo. And it's gonna be a done steak. Yeah, I'll let it go about 2 more minutes before I dump in the margarine, and then I'll let it cook in the butter and the seasoning. I'll let it finish off that way. Okay, at this point you got some of that blood rising. You don't want it to drip clear because then it'll be well done. All I do at this point is I get these little edges that aren't cooked all the way through, and I do a quick little tap to sear them all. That's all I'm doing along the edges. Now if it's thin enough, you might have got the perfect cook on the edges, but I did see a little red, so I am going to sear off those edges and then dump in the margarine. I keep saying butter is best, but if you don't have the butter, use what you got. And in this case, I got margarine. So, dumping in a tablespoon of margarine. Now, if you're going to use fresh herbs to do this, you don't have to worry too much about burning your spices. Still want to be careful. But because I don't have anything fresh, then I'm kicking myself in the butt for not having prep. I'm going to use the powdered badia. You got to be careful with this stuff because it will burn and then everything will end up tasting bitter. So if you're going to use a powdered something or other, cook quick. It's all I'm going to say. Okay? Margarine's a little sweeter than your butter would be, but we're going to let that go. Now you could taste it if you want to, but I've already burnt myself once today. I don't want to do it again. Because your spices can burn, that's another reason I don't use pepper. like some people will salt and pepper their steak. I won't do that because pepper burns, y'all. Pepper burns. Now, some of y'all might be cringing like, why are you doing that? Why are you putting all that butter over your steak? Because it's going to be good, guys. It's going to be good. If you don't want to do the butter, you can absolutely opt out. But that's it. I am going to take it out and let it sit on a plate to keep it from drying out. Now, all this deliciousness in here is going to go into my mushrooms. Don't waste anything, guys. Not anything flavorful. Give those a stir and fix up my taters, and we're ready to eat. So here is the finished product. I'm going to dress these little taters. I'm going to do a bloop of sour cream on them. And I'm going to toss some of these little celery greens on top. If celery greens are too strong for you, then do cilantro. That's pretty strong too. Or parsley or nothing. But there it is. My taters, my mushrooms, and my ribeye. I'm going to go eat. See if I can tempt little dude to try any of this. But until my next go around, if y'all try this, I hope y'all enjoy it. Do it y'all's way by all means. If something y'all see doesn't agree with y'all, tweak it to suit you. Or give me some suggestions. I don't mind. I like cooking. It's all about learning and tweaking and doing things. So, till my next go around, I love y'all bunches. Bon appetit, y'all.